The purpose of this video is to familiarize you with the pronombres, or subject pronouns in Spanish, and to organize them in a graphic organizer that will help you memorize them quicker. Why is it important to memorize the Spanish subject pronouns? Well, you'll use them all the time while you're speaking and writing. And if you memorize them in the order I show you, it will make conjugating verbs a whole lot easier. So what is a pronoun? Well, a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. For example, instead of saying Senora South while referring to myself, I use the first person pronoun I. Other pronouns that are subjects of sentences include you, she, we, he, you guys, and they. It's a way we can talk about people without having to use their names all the time. Okay, here's a way that we organize our subject pronouns in English. All of the singular pronouns are in the left column. Singular means only one person is represented. Only one person is doing the action in the sentence. For example, I am speaking, or he is reading. All of the plural subject pronouns are in the right column. Plural means that more than one person is doing the action in a sentence. For example, we are listening to the teacher, or they are studying. There are also different rows in this graphic organizer. The first row is for first person perspective, the subjects I and we. Think about pointing to yourself when you speak in first person. The second row is for the second person perspective, the subjects you and you guys. Think about pointing directly at the person or group of people you are speaking to when you speak in second person. The third row is for the third person perspective, the subjects he, she, and they. Think about pointing at another person or group of people you are speaking about, but not necessarily looking at when you speak in third person. Now let's learn the Spanish subject pronouns, the pronombres. To say I in Spanish, we say yo. To say you in Spanish, we say tú. Now there's something in Spanish that we don't have in English. There are actually two ways to say you in Spanish. There's a formal version of you and an informal version of you. It all depends on who you're speaking to. When a person is speaking directly to someone else in Spanish, they need to think about their relationship to the other person. If the person is familiar to them, a peer, a family member, a subordinate, or a friend, they can use the informal version of you, which is tú. The other version of you is usted. If the person is not familiar to the speaker, a stranger, an elder, or a person in authority, they need to use the formal version of you to show respect. They need to say usted. Let's practice your pronunciation of these pronouns. Please repeat after me. Yo, tú, usted. Before we learn all the pronombres, let's start organizing these. Here's the graphic organizer for the Spanish pronouns. It's pretty similar to the graphic organizer for the English subject pronouns. The left column is for the singular pronouns, the right column is for the plural pronouns, and there are rows for first person, second person, and third person perspectives. But what's this row for? Well, this row is for the second person formal pronoun usted. Notice that there is a dotted line between the second person formal perspective and the third person perspective. This will be important when we learn how to conjugate. For right now, just know that there are two versions of the pronoun you, informal tú and formal usted. Let's put the pronombres we know in this graphic organizer. The first person singular pronoun is I, or yo in Spanish. The second person singular pronoun is you, or tú in Spanish. And the second person singular formal pronoun is you in English, or usted in Spanish. Moving on to the third person. To say he in Spanish, we say él. To say she in Spanish, we say ella. Él and ella are third person singular pronouns. Moving on to plural pronouns. To say we in Spanish, we say nosotros. But wait, there's another part of Spanish that is different from English. That's gender. The people in the group matter. If you are female and all the people in your group are females, then you don't use nosotros. Instead, you change the gender of the pronoun to feminine. You say nosotras. If there is a mixed gender group, we use the masculine plural version of the pronoun. So if there are guys and girls in a group that you're in, you would use nosotros to say we guys and girls. To help you remember that, I call it the guys rule. Because, well, at least when it comes to Spanish grammar, guys rule. So the first person plural pronouns are we guys, or nosotros, and we girls, or nosotras. If you are talking directly to more than one person in an informal way, you say you guys or you girls. To say you guys in Spanish, we say vosotros. To say you girls in Spanish, we say vosotras. Again, we have to worry about the gender of the group we're talking to. Vosotros and vosotras are special. It's a way to talk to a group informally. Think tú y tú y tú y tú y tú. All of those tús together make vosotros. But this informality with a group is not something that people use often. In fact, most Spanish-speaking countries don't use it at all. Only Spain uses vosotros and vosotras. The rest of the Spanish-speaking countries decided they didn't want to worry about offending anyone in a group by speaking informally. I mean, what if there were a bunch of twos in a group, but one usted joined? Then you'd have to switch to formal to be respectful. To talk directly to a group formally, we say ustedes. So the second person plural informal pronouns are you guys, or vosotros, and you girls, or vosotras, but they're only used in Spain. And the second person plural formal pronoun is you guys or girls, or ustedes. This is used in Spain and everywhere else in the Spanish-speaking world. Okay, last set of pronouns. This is third person plural when you're talking about a group of people. To say they in Spanish, we say ellos. But remember, the gender of a group matters. To talk about a group of girls in Spanish, we say ellas. So the third person plural pronouns are they, or ellos, and they girls, or ellas. To end this lesson, let's practice pronouncing all of the subject pronouns. As you say each pronoun, think about what it represents in English. Repeat after me. Yo, tú, usted, él, ella, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ustedes, ellos, ellas. Thank you for participating in this lesson on Spanish subject pronouns. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at ssouth@naperville203.org. If you need this concept explained again, I recommend Senor Jordan's video that is linked on this final slide. Thanks again. I'll see you in class.